a rare bag who know just tell me what these one these things that don't have only have this thing. Hey Jaden, did you get the assignment for your quiz?
I had to check.
Okay.
Anyway, I guess while I was adjusting the Mac, it accidentally unplugged, so I had to plug it in. And the Mac took like a really long time to start up and all that, which it didn't used to take this long some time ago. So I guess I have to I guess the only solution I can think of is maybe if we have to make some space since it might be slowing things up. So that's gonna take some time. But anyway, let me go get my gun.
Those criminals right there. None of the gaming is high.
Alexandra.
Hey.
What's happening?
Nothing much.
Here I am.
Today was amazing for me.
Okay.
I just finished. Yesterday, I did my orientation and I did my first session with my mentorship. However, the first video was quite a little bit longer. It was close to 3 hours, so I broke it up in halves. Very amazing. It's a safe place where we can share our thoughts, feelings, and I'm just kind of glad to not feel alone when I talk about how church is and going to church. Um, I'm glad that it's other individuals, women like myself, that feel the same way. And we're able to, read the Bible, talk about the Lord and things like that. But it's not like someone is showing power over you, as in what is in the churches. Now, I'm not speaking towards all churches and stuff, but that's just the feeling, the sense that I get. So I laid off from that. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I can have church within myself. I can read my Bible. I can pray. Being a part of this mentorship where we read the Bible and we pray and we talk about our experiences is something that I really like. You know what I mean? Being a part of a ministry and going to church and stuff is something that don't excite me. It's not. It's just spiritually. It's not in me. You know what I mean? And everyone does not have the same outlook on you. And one thing I learned too today is that you don't need anyone just can't pray for you. It's not good to ask just any and everyone to pray for you because they don't have they're not looking for the same results that you may be looking for when it comes to prayer. And I feel like, like that's more deep into spiritual and stuff. But overall, I feel like with just myself, I feel like I would be able to gain a lot of personal growth. And I feel like far as healing, like something was just lifted off of my shoulder. You know what I mean? Something was just like lifted off of my shoulder, but in a good way, because it's like now I can sleep. Like yesterday, I slept so good last night. Like I don't know what it was. Like I just slept so good today. I was happier. You know what I mean? Like I was just happy, and I'm like, then my sister, my brother called me today. Um, which me and my brother, like we talk, but we haven't been talking daily because he's trying to finish his GED. You know, we both got our own schedules and stuff. But to just wake up in the morning to like hearing them and talking to them, you know, it really, really made my day and stuff. And it's just general talk. And as I get older, I value our relationships more. I don't know if it's because we stay a distance or it's just that I'm older now, you know what I mean? But I value our relationships even more because we all have really busy schedules. We're all trying to do something with our lives and stuff like that. And I'm just glad that they're taking on a good role in their life. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm setting a really good example for them. Because my sister, she has a story to tell, but she's doing good. And I'm proud of her for that. She's in a good state of mind. You know what I mean? Today she was really happy. I'm just happy. I'm glad, and to have such a good team. You know what I mean? Like I told my educational mentor that I'm planning on learning Spanish and stuff, and he was like, "Oh, I always wanted to be bilingual, man. That's cool." Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I have so many people that's like encouraging me for what I choose to do in life, because the reason that I am choosing to do it, two reasons. Because I want to have an impact on Hispanics' lives as well. I want to be able to dive in to that atmosphere, learn that atmosphere, get to know that atmosphere, and be a part of that atmosphere. Not to, when you hear people talk and try stuff like that. And what I mean by that is that when we get Hispanic, I want Hispanic students to be a part of our program. I want a huge diversity group. It's not just white. It's just not just black. It's not just mixed. We have a lot of people out there. You know what I mean? And you have some students who may be Hispanic, who may know English, but they know Spanish better. And to have that in a program like that is a huge asset, if you ask me. And so that's another reason why, you know, I'm really struck on really doing it. And then my second reason is because when I write my book, I'll be able to translate it in Spanish, but not only that, I'll be able to interact with this atmosphere of Spanish speaking individuals. So I'm excited about that. And I'm not quite sure along the way my purpose will lead to more and more on why, but those are the two main reasons, because I want to have a diverse impact. And diverse, I mean in different cultures. I don't mean just the English speaking culture. I want to go above and I want to go beyond that, because if I get that type of support system, like the women that's under our mentorship, that's a part of, that's another, that my fellow mentees, we're from all over the world. We're from New York. We from over in Africa. I mean, like we from everywhere. And it's just like it's an amazing circle, because the same problems that we live, other countries are going through the same thing too. The same things that we face daily, they go through the same things too. And I just feel like it's never too late to learn. Never too late to learn. And I'm excited for you when you told me you want to learn Portuguese, and then, you know what, Brazil, that's dope. Like, that's super dope.
So tell me more about the orientation in the video. 3 hours. That's like a good sized video.
Man, it was deep. It was just like people just like, I mean, the women, like we just talking like how it is, like how we feel and stuff. Like it's just a safe, you know what I mean? It's a safe place just to make you. I mean, like being a part of that is like you can't do nothing but gain personal growth.
Was it a live video? Like
it's live where we all get to. It's like I wasn't on there, you know, but we all get together and we go through Bible scriptures and stuff like that. It's just it's healing, if you ask me. Like it's a sense of healing, and it's the type of healing that every woman needs. You know what I mean? I understand like women go to church and stuff, but see, At the end of church, the pastor don't open up the floor and ask you how you each and every individual how they feel and giving them time to talk. You have never seen that before. And I just feel that I feel personal growth that's going to come ahead of me. I feel financial growth. I feel spiritual growth because I got a good heart. And what I mean by a good heart is that I'm learning that in different areas in my life, I can't have a good heart with any and everyone. But I have to know how to draw that line. And I'm not afraid to draw that line. Everyone does not deserve to see a happy smile on my face. Some people I have to walk in front of them and give them, I'm not playing with you type of look. Do I hate to do that? Yes. Do I have to do it? Some people you have to do that way because that's the only time they'll take you seriously. Then you have some individuals who will pray over you and your smile, thinking you dense or slow, and all in all, you far from it. Me, I'm just a happy person. You know, I can walk in the room, you ain't gotta like me, you ain't gotta know me, but you gonna respect me because I'm gonna respect you.
Mhm.
And many times people they and then one thing I don't like is and then this is just personal though. It ain't got nothing to do with the mentorship or anything, just as people in general. One thing I really don't like is when people try to learn you through different methods instead of asking you directly. And you sit there and you watch them try to learn you and you just let them you just let them do what they do. But they want to know you so bad. But the only way you're going to know someone is if you ask them directly. Am I lying?
Depends. I don't know. When you say trying to learn you, what do you mean? Like, what would be the intention of them learning you?
Like you meet, this is just me just speaking in general.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, say like you meet, okay, say like, okay, I'm gonna use you for instance. Okay, say like Marcus from the Quality Center.
Mhm.
Say like you're kind of like you've been kind of like hanging with him or just kicking it with him, kicking the bubbles with him and stuff, and then he has like two friends that come along. Okay, like one of the new friends, he starts volunteering at the Quality Center. Like he briefly speak to you, and then he friends you on Facebook, but he briefly speak to you at work, like barely speak to you. Never like anything on your Facebook or anything like that, but goes to different individuals like at the volunteer site or even whoever y'all may hang with. Like say like y'all go to the basketball court and stuff and just ask questions about you. Like I don't understand people like that. Like get to know you and have conversations with you. It's like
That's a bit odd.
that's weird, ain't it? Ain't that weird?
It's a bit. I mean, why wouldn't they just want to ask you? Yeah. No, I don't think.
It's
I don't.
something. It's something. It was a while. It was a while ago. I had faced this issue. It was a while ago, but I used like a friend of a friend for example because that's how it happened. You know what I mean? And it's like I just thought it was really weird. You know what I mean? It was just real awkward, like weird, like.
Yeah. I usually like to give people the benefit of the doubt and don't
Mm-hmm.
think too deep into it, things like that. Um, and I would like to think that I'm approachable, where you can just ask me. But I don't know. That's a bit. That's a odd behavior.
That's some odd behavior.
Mhm. I mean, it sounds like they're curious enough to ask somebody else about you. That's a bit odd. It's a bit odd. It's a bit odd, yeah. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. But overall, that's something that happened in the past. It just came across my mind, so I thought I'd bring it up because I'm learning to know that I'm in the healing process. Everything for me ain't gonna happen overnight with, getting closer and trusting people and, things like that and stuff. But I feel like I am in a sense of my life where it's okay for me to start building relationships. Far as like engaging with talking to people. Now, me just overall, I like to be chill to myself. That's just me. That's just how I am. You know what I mean? I'm not the type of person who need a group of people around me, but that shouldn't stop me from my social life. You know what I mean? Because only reason why I'm like this now because I've been through so much bullshit. I don't got time for people bullshit. So I just stay to myself in order for me not to get pissed off. And people don't be knowing that. That's why I kind of got like this guard up. And I'm not acting antisocial or nothing. It's me. Like I like to be to myself. I'll be reading. I'll be chilling and stuff. You know what I mean? And I know some people on the outside looking in like, I know she be bored as hell in that house by herself. I know she. No, I'll be comfortable. I'll be chilling, and I'll be minding my business. But all in all, it's nice. I feel like I'm engaging into a social life by being a part of this mentorship, and then as well as coming on here with you and stuff. But I think a person just needs to really get to know me, to see how I am, to see that I don't really I'm not a clingy type person when it comes to people, that was dead away a long time ago. But I'm overcoming it and I'm healing from it. And while I'm healing from it, I think I need to just kind of be left alone.
I hear you. I hear you.
But I'm improving, like with my social life. I got my guards up, but I didn't brought that trust barrier. I didn't remove that, but it's still not gonna stop me from having my guards up. But I go by like you said, like just trust. You know what I mean? Like you gotta come in with trusting. I'm not there. I'm not in the past no more, and I'm learning that.
And really, it's about like being as open as you can feel comfortable being open to. I mean, trust doesn't necessarily mean you got to bring people to your house,
Right.
Like, trust doesn't mean that you got to I think we talked about this yesterday. Like, you don't have to share.
Juju, you drinking your daddy water up.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, she saw you. Oh.
Water.
Water. Yeah, so it's like, trust doesn't necessarily mean that you got to share all your life secrets, Doesn't, you could, so it's, I understand. Oh, man. Okay, so it sounds like you had a great time yesterday. It sounds like you saw, things in this video that like allowed you to see a possibility for yourself that maybe wasn't there before, wasn't as clear to you before. And all that's good, all that's positive. And, the more you experience, especially like now, like this is a whole new experience. It's like you can only learn from it and you love to learn. So it all sounds positive, even if there are negatives within it, but it's more positive if anything, because you're going to be in a learning space. And if you're already feeling a sense of healing from it, that sounds great. Go ahead, mommy. Okay. Okay. So what's next? What's new? What's on your mind? What are we talking about?
I just feel like for personal growth, it's very important in life because it will help you grow in other areas. Because like if you're not right with yourself, you don't know yourself, if you don't start to love yourself and things of that nature and stuff, it's like, how can you grow in other areas if you're not right personally?
I think that's kind of like what most people that are seeking something, ultimately what they're looking for is like, who am I? Why am I here? Where am I going? What am I gonna do? So I guess that's like the basic questions, like, who am I? Why am I here? Where am I going? What am I trying to do? You know, and if you're not able to answer those questions, it's like you can't really build anything. You can't really. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to build anything if you can't answer
It's
those
hard
questions.
to.
You know, I mean, you can be of service to others, right? But then you won't even really know how to serve others if you don't really know where you at. Because then you can have feelings when things get rough. You can have negative feelings about other people if you're not understanding why you're doing what you're doing. So I get it. I get it. So how are you answering those questions these days? Who are you? Why are you here? Where are you going? So how do you where do you see yourself these days in terms of those questions?
As far as my personal growth, more of like, I feel like I know that I need to exercise. I know that I need to be at a more healthier weight. Like, and I feel like, like once I complete physical therapy, I'm gonna start working out and stuff like that or whatever. So I feel like once I start doing that, and get myself in shape, not trying to get skinny and nothing like that. I'm just trying to get to a healthy weight for myself. I feel like that'll be part of my personal growth. Health for like health wise, for like my mentality and stuff. Like I have started taking like vitamins and things like that, and I feel like that is really helping me too as well. I feel like I'm more energized with that. I feel like I'm taking healthy steps along the way and stuff, and just spending time with myself and loving myself and doing things for myself is really bringing out the best of me, because I'm not in the place where I used to be, where I am like basically not having to love someone, but being in a position where, okay, I got this person, okay, he's hungry, we're together, boom, I cook for him. But it's like I'm always doing something for somebody else. Now it's about me. It's about, when I wake up in the morning, it's not about did you get his work clothes ready? Did you make his breakfast? It's about, girl, wake up, take a shower. What you wearing this morning? You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I know it is hilarious, especially to somebody in a relationship, because they're probably like, this girl crazy.
Nah, I'm laughing because that's probably what Bessie's thinking about at some level.
I'm sorry, Betsy. I'm not trying to give you no ideas. This is just me talking. Just put your earphones on, girl.
No, she didn't hear you. But go ahead, say it again so maybe she can hear you.
So it's like now I'm at a point in my life where I'm not waking up in the morning like, did you get his work clothes ready? Did you make him breakfast? Did you do this? It's about, girl, what you wearing this morning? What color, what shoes what pair of your shoes you wearing this morning? And I realized it, like, it's all about me.
Yeah, so even though Bessie be sleeping in.
I know she be sleeping in with the baby.
Sleeping in, you be sleeping in. Like now she gonna make me try to say when she want me to bring out my list that I got of every day that I ain't get my daily routine.
I'm only talking about the last 3 months. That's all I'm talking
I can't think that far back. She's only talking about I can only think about last week. That's nah, but that's what I'm saying. So it's funny because I could imagine that Betsy. Now I get my own clothes. Shoot, I'm learning to iron my own clothes if I need to. But Betsy does make me breakfast.
And it's not nothing wrong. And that's another thing too. Like,
it's just funny though, because I don't think about that.
It's not nothing wrong, because what a lot of people fail to realize in partnership is that you have to know the true meaning of submission. If you can't submit to yourself, how can you submit to someone else?
Now you know that the chat line's going crazy right now. The chat line, you got the women going wild on this chat line. Where they like, damn.
For real, like, how can you submit to someone else when you can't submit to yourself?
So boom, Empty Anonymous says, I ain't trying to submit to no man. I ain't trying to submit to nobody.
Well, guess what, Anonymous? You're going to always be alone.
Oh man, Anonymous number 2. I do better by myself than with somebody else. Well, I guess
guess what?
Right.
You continue to do bad, Anonymous number 2. No, Anonymous number 3, where you at?
Oh man, who needs a man? That's what Anonymous number 3 said.
You do, obviously, because you on here asking about it.
Anonymous number 4, you got Anonymous number 4 got scared. He put question mark, question mark, question mark. Where is this going? No, listen, for real, that's like a bad word for a lot of people. We talk about that word submission. That'll trigger people.
Yeah, you'll trigger some. I will trigger some. That word will trigger some people off. Like, but guess who gets triggered off about it? The people who don't know what it means, and you have to feel it to know what it means. You know what I mean? It's not like, okay, like say like every couple, every marriage, you know, it's arguments and stuff like that. It ain't what you do, it's how you do it. Now, if you with your partner and you in front of a group of friends and your significant other then pissed you off or something, don't yell at them right there in the heat of the moment in front of everybody. Don't do nothing that's going to trigger something for someone else to be in your business stuff. Let it calm down. You know what I'm saying? You need your space and stuff, but don't let everyone else around you know how you're feeling. Your partner gonna know how you feeling, but y'all should have the relationship to the point where it's healthy enough that when y'all get back around each other, y'all talk about it in private and handle y'all business and stuff. Because sometimes everybody's business is not your business is not everyone else's business.
Bessie says submission does not mean disrespect.
True.
So I think that I'm challenged with that one. You know, because I'm not embarrassed. Now I hear you loud and clear. Betsy, what you said is the same thing that Betsy would say. And then I'm like, well, I want to solve it now, but I hear you. You don't have to solve it right now. I hear you. But I know for me, like, I wouldn't necessarily, let me think. I'm trying to flip the tables, see how it feels. Yeah, so personally, I wouldn't be embarrassed to have a conversation in front of people. You know, but I know that Betsy wouldn't like that. And I had to learn that, and it still worked for me to not have like private conversations, what Betsy would call a private conversation in public. You know, but I'm very public. I'm very, very public. But then again, my intention isn't to disrespect her. And I like to say that we have disagreements, not necessarily arguments. Like back in the day, maybe we had some arguments, but I think we may disagree more than anything else these days. I don't know. I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you. I'm thinking about what does that like? Why? Okay, like why? Like why? So private people, I can expect private people to say what you're saying, because you wouldn't want other people in your business. But see, I guess for me, like, I don't mind people in my business, because I think that people, like, I think that a lot of,
Julian, if you the type of person, if like say like if we was all hanging out together and stuff or whatever, you the type of person like you can talk to Bessie to the point where well nobody even know that y'all into it because you'd be just having a general conversation. And I get that from just talking to you, the type of person you is. You know what I'm saying? Because you seem like the person that you want to know, talk to me. What's on your mind? Talk to me. Let me know what's on your mind. How you feeling?
yeah,
Like you're
I've
not the
gotten
type
better
of
over the years, I would say, because maybe in the beginning I could have been more confrontational. That's
Of
why.
course, we are. I mean,
Yeah.
nobody's perfect, but like that's like me. Like I'm growing. Like with this divorce that I've been through, and like being by myself in my past and stuff. Like in a closer that I know that I'm gonna get to God and stuff. It's like He's equipping me for my future. And if a man is going to be part of my future, I'm learning things about myself. And that is love myself, treat myself good. Because guess what? When God does put that significant other in my life, He ain't gonna have no choice but to treat me good, respect me, and you know, do all that in the above because He see me doing it to myself, and I love myself, and I'm loving myself.
So I want to go back to that topic, because I think I'm getting some clarity on it. So for me, right, like
Okay.
I'm at a place, and I think I've been this kind of person for a long time. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think that I like to be public about myself. You know, a part of me, and this has to do with my personality, maybe with um feeling like I want people to accept me for who I am, and I don't want to have secrets, like, because that, like, for me, I think that, so when I got Betsy pregnant, that was like a secret for a long time, and
Mm-hmm.
that like hurt my brother's feelings and maybe my family's feelings. um and I didn't, I guess it was a traumatic experience for me, I guess is one way of saying it. To I haven't really thought much about this. I'm thinking on the go as I'm talking. So I'm wondering if that played a role into me wanting to be so public, because I know, like, especially in the last several years, like, I want to say I want to say the worst things about me, so that if you can't accept me, then don't accept me now. Like if you
Mm-hmm.
if if you have some negative opinion about me, then like, have it now. Don't wait till you get to know me. Just have it now. um so I'm saying that, like, so if I'm in a situation, whether it's with Betsy or with a friend, like, and something comes up, it's like I want to talk about it. Now, again, it's not about being disrespectful. It's about, let's just handle it right now. Let's talk about it right now so we can have clarity. And then I'm thinking part of the reason why I would want to do that is so that everyone there can be clear about where I stand on that position. And I think if I'm honest with myself, that's a pattern about how I behave. Is like, I have this thing where it matters to me that other people know what I believe about certain issues.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've learned that that's not necessarily the case for Betsy, so it has been challenging for me, um, because I have sensed conversations she prefers not to have in public that I may have wanted to have, like, and by public I mean maybe in front of friends or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
um but I guess what I would say is, like, I would talk to them about this anyway, like, because I'm pretty open about that. But I'm just thinking in general, it's like, I think there is something, and now I'm gonna tie conversations in, like, for me, okay, so this is another layer for
Mm-hmm.
me, and I'm gonna just throw Jaden's name in there because this is a connection that I think I have with Jaden. um it's hard for me to learn stuff if I don't have experience with it. Like a lot of things don't necessarily come natural to me.
Okay.
I had to observe them or learn about them. So like being a parent hasn't come natural to me. Like
Okay.
it's like I'm thinking about what my mom did and how she handled things, and then I'm using that as like, okay, do I want to do it the same? Do I don't want to do? How did I feel? And then I'm observing other parents and how their children respond. So it's like I'm just bouncing off my behaviors, off my observations of what appears to be the best way to do things. So I'm saying that because, so for instance, Betsy, at least in the beginning, I'm not sure where she's at now. I can probably ask her. She would prefer not to have like disagreements in front of the children.
That's healthy.
No, but I think that you should. And this is a very controversial statement. So if you don't,
I'm gonna have to agree with Bessie on that one.
but
That's
when
just my opinion.
I know, and I think that's like a personality thing. And there's a lot of people that disagree with me. But when will that child learn how to have disagreements if they can't see their parents have disagreements?
They can see their other siblings have disagreements. They can
No,
see
but
their peers.
that's not a relationship disagreement. Like, because they're gonna be in a relationship one day, and then they may not know how to handle it, and they're gonna want to do the same thing, keep secrets, and then deal with the trauma or deal with it on their own. Like, because so for me, like the only way that I could learn is by seeing it. So how would a person like me learn? Otherwise, I have to learn in the moment, which then that, in my opinion, that can be more traumatic, to have to learn in the moment. But again, we don't have to agree on it, and like that's a controversial point. But all that. So then the question is like what is the fear? Like, so I don't have a fear of being embarrassed. I don't have a fear of being talked about. Like, so because I don't have those fears, it allows me to be okay. Because so what's the worst that can happen? What's the worst that can happen? Like with the children, they see the parents having a disagreement. What's the worst that can happen? Now, I'm not saying that you should be verbally abusive. You shouldn't be verbally abusive anyway. You shouldn't be physically abusive anyway. Um, whether it's in front of the children or not in front, that shouldn't, verbal abuse should be unacceptable, whether it's in front of people or not in front of people. So then I'm not including that. But in general, like what would be so wrong about it? Like what is the fear around it? Like what, you know, so people might use it against you. Let's say okay, so people can bring it up, people can talk bad, but people do that anyway, you know. I'm just trying to think, like, what's the worst that can happen? People can use it against you, people can talk bad about you. People can have a bad opinion about you. People can, see, but those things don't bother me. Those things don't bother me. Now I can see why Betsy's a much more private person, and I can see why Betsy wouldn't like that, and I can understand where you're coming from, and then I can be respectful of that. But for me, I would like to be in a relationship with someone that's like me, that would be, because I think that to the degree that we could be public, like that's like a relationship that's in a leadership position, meaning because then others can learn from you authentically, like the real, like what's really happening. Otherwise, so for instance, okay, so I want people to know the worst of me. That way it's like they could never be disappointed, because I'm not lying. I'm not like if if they see me talking to Betsy and they see me get firm, or they see like whatever, yeah, that's the worst of Julian right there. And Julian ain't that bad, Whereas if I've seen relationships where they're very good in like you see, I sat up, like they got good posture and they're very kind, but then they're like physically abusive behind scenes, behind closed doors. And then when that gets out, then it's like, oh man, like you're let down, you know. But I get it. I guess what for me being more of a public person and thinking that I don't mind being a lesson for somebody else. Like I'm okay with people thinking whatever they want to think. It's easier for me to make that decision. However, that's like a personal thing. I know that that's not the case for most people, because most people would like to be private about it. Bessie wants to say something. Go ahead.
Hey, Alexander.
Hey.
Sorry, I don't show my face. At this time, my face is not visible. Yes, and all that.
See, look, she worried about what she looked like.
Yes, I am.
So Alexandra be coming on with like her hair bonnet.
I do, Bessie. Like I really do.
Okay. So this is a nightcap.
Yeah, she gonna be heated when that episode gets like 95 million views. By that time, right? You're gonna be all like sitting up in your new place, in your new role, in your new season. Nah, go ahead, Bessie.
Well, as far as arguing in front of the kids.
Now she said arguing, not disagreeing. So let's hear it. No, you good. Look, now we arguing in front of you. No, I'm kidding.
At this point, there's certain topics that I prefer not to disagree in front of them, and then there's certain topics that I'm okay with disagreeing in front of them. Only because in our stage in our relationship, we're at a point where he says what he needs to say, and then he pauses, and then he allows me say my part. So the kids get to see me, express my voice as well.
Okay.
Before and early on in the relationship, it was more him talking and me just kind of staying silent.
Okay.
Whereas I took it as, well, the kids see me getting yelled at. So I guess that's where the conflict of, let's, stop arguing in front of the kids, or don't talk to me like that in front of the kids came in. So, but as our conversations and our communication got better, and me being able to be a quicker thinker on the spot with him, I think I felt more comfortable where situations had happened in front of the kids, and I'm okay with it. So I don't know if that helps clarify that a little.
Okay, now I see what you're saying.
And then, so let me add to that too. So another issue that's happened between me and Betsy is she'll say, and my mom too, like my mom would say like, I'm just thinking, I'm gonna just say it because it's funny. Not whatever. I'm gonna translate it in Spanish. It's like an expression. Me va a comer ahora. Like if I raise in my culture is and in Black culture, it's normal to raise your voice when in a disagreement. And Betsy doesn't like that. And then for me, like I raise my voice and I become firm, but it's not yelling. That's just part of. So the funny thing is, my mom, what she did, she was like making some meat in the house while I was sleeping or whatever, and I was tripping over it. Like I thought that was not cool. I thought that was like offensive, and then like I escalated my voice. I raised my voice. And she said, go ahead, you're gonna eat me or something? like she was saying as if like my voice, like if I'm some sort of monster that's gonna like a lion that's gonna like consume her. But I didn't think that my voice, like I wasn't coming my voice maybe did get louder, but it wasn't like yelling. Like I think that yelling is one thing, and then like speaking firmly or holding someone accountable is another. But when you're being held accountable, any elevation in the voice can sound like yelling. So I what I'm saying that to say is that, so Betsy grew up maybe in a quieter house with a dad that's soft spoken. So a lot of times she would think that I'm yelling, right?
Okay.
Wait, she's about to say something. Go ahead. What? That I'm yelling? I yell.
Well, you're loud. Your voice is very loud, very thundering. Like his voice can shake walls and floors.
Let me turn this thing. Hold on. Let me turn this thing down so I can hear her. Hold on.
You got 2 new pictures back there.
Okay.
You got 2 new pictures back there. I thought it was just.
No, I just switched them on the wall. I switched them on
Okay.
the wall from the different walls.
Okay, go ahead, Betsy. She's saying my
well-
voice is thunderous.
So his voice gets very loud, and then because he's very firm and assertive of what he's saying, when you are, I guess, the person that's receiving it, it feels like a vibration, you know. So in your body, you feel the vibration. Where
Yeah.
it feels like
What
the
that
whole room is
means-
shaking.
Well, no, what that means is your waters inside is getting moved. And then that's not me. That's the truth of what I'm saying that's vibrated, but you don't want to hear it though.
Right.
Because the thing is, like, at least for me, I feel that I'm I'm just respond. I'm so happy doing my own thing. Like, I do not want to have to like hold nobody accountable. Now, granted, what does it mean to hold someone accountable? Well, if we're in a relationship and we are expecting things from each other, well, when those expectations are met, then we can hold each other accountable. And then if you don't take responsibility, then I have no problem bringing it back up until you take some sort of responsibility. Because I feel like then if you can't take responsibility, then now granted, not always is a situation about taking responsibility. And I guess that's kind of like where I've been learning as well. And that's why these days, I rather just talk about it, but it's easier to get into a disagreement if I sense that she's not taking responsibility about something, when really in fact, I don't know that things will ever escalate. Like, I never have a problem. I'm okay with people making mistakes. I know people make mistakes. I think the problem is when people can't accept that they made a mistake. I guess you just say you made a mistake.
Right.
But sometimes we don't want to be wrong. And then, like in Betsy's case, she maybe didn't want to be wrong in front of the kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then I can understand where she says that maybe in the beginning, it was maybe me speaking and not her. And I wouldn't want to be in that situation.
Do you like look at it as like just basically overall just taking responsibility for your actions?
Well, that's something that would trigger me to escalate a conversation, because we're a team, right? And then something goes wrong or something goes in the direction that we didn't want. If we can't identify what happened, then it's going to happen again. And if I'm trying to identify and I'm saying, hey, maybe this has something to do with what you did, you know, then let's identify this. Let's speak on it so it doesn't have to happen again. But then if you're saying it's not, then let's talk about it and tell me what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you can't tell me what it is, then I'm gonna say, well, then that's what it is. And then that's when it can get into an argument, because then it's like, well, no, it's not. Then what is it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so responsibility does play a big role. But I get it, you know, it's like if I'm listening to Betsy or just that the vibe in general is like people don't want to be wrong in front of other people. You know, to use the word right and wrong. People don't want to feel like they're wrong, because that could be embarrassing. And then I guess for me, I don't I don't mind being wrong if I'm wrong,
Mhm.
you know, and if you can show me how I'm wrong, then I'll be like, oh, okay, I was wrong.
Mhm.
But yeah, but generally speaking, um, I think Betsy and I, like, yeah, she said there's certain topics. So I guess maybe she's talking about topics that she prefers the children don't hear, probably like topics about maybe me and her specifically. Would that be like, what kind of topics would you think? Like about the nature of our personal relationship?
Probably.
Yeah, so I guess like if
Or
we're
just-
having,
yeah, like or like certain like maybe like family issues, certain things about other families.
yes, yeah, I really do think things should be public, but I get it.
Or maybe at after a certain age, that they can
I
learn
get-
about other what goes on in our other families and things like that.
I hear you.
Um,
Hmm.
what else?
So yeah, Alexandra, I guess generally speaking, so I'm on that side where most people do not. And another thing too is I guess I'm a fast thinker. Like, and by that is I can process on the go. Whereas I learned that not everyone processes on the go. Like for instance, Betsy, she prefers to think things over. And then after thinking things over, she can have a better way of describing it or speaking on an issue.
Mhm.
But that's challenging for me because I would prefer to talk about it in the moment. Because see, if I don't
Right.
talk about it in the moment, then I'm gonna be thinking about it. And then it's like, well, I want to think about other stuff. I want to go back, and it's like it'll affect my vibe if I can't just talk about it. And then
Mhm.
for her is like, well, it's gonna affect my vibe if I talk about it. let me
Right.
let me process it. So there's a delicate balance that we can go on that.
One thing that just came to mind.
You gotta speak up.
One thing that just came to mind when he was mentioning that, um, I guess it was also the dynamic of our relationship where I always felt I wasn't good enough. So a mistake or something would happen and then he would have to correct me. I was okay with him correcting me in private, but not in public because then that would show other people that I'm not, I mean, I guess that perfect
Partner.
girl or partner for him.
Yeah. But see, I think that's when you love yourself to the point of this
Right,
conversation,
exactly.
then you won't have that thought, you know.
But I see where she's coming from, though. Too, though. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mhm.
I think it comes more, and didn't come from him. It came
Right.
more from the judgment of me thinking, what are the other women thinking? You know.
Right.
So now I don't care.
Well, when you realize that behind the scenes people have all these problems,
Right.
and that's my point. Like that's why I don't got a problem hiding it, because based on all the conversations I had with all these people be having all kinds of issues. Like people wild out there. People like, and then they put these fronts that I see right through them. So I don't have a problem showing them me having a disagreement. But I can understand what Betsy's saying. If you're having doubts of your value to your partner, and then that has to do with me too. So I can take responsibility for that. So I caused her to have those insecurities through my actions for one reason or another. Um, so I can understand that. But ultimately, when it comes to questions of value and like, how am I worthy? That's a personal journey.
Mhm.
Like for instance, like you're talking about how the journey there, that like this is a personal journey, like building confidence, feeling worthy, and being in a relationship.
It's helping me learn. Today, I feel a sense of healing coming down on me because it's going to help me to learn to trust women again, especially what I've been through, like with my ex best friend and things like that. It's helping me to have like all women don't run their mouths. Like all women don't gossip. Like it's actually some decent women out here that you can be safe and talk to, and they're not gonna run behind you and talk about you because they are trying to grow along with you.
So that I'm hearing you, and now a thought just came into my mind, because there's some women that love having male friends, and there's some women that love having female friends, and then like my female friends that like having female friends, I guess it's kind of normal for them to talk, and I don't like I guess gossip.
I like to have I like to have a majority now. Like I like to have more male friends. Um, and I think the females, like, it's gonna be something that I'm gonna have to learn because, like,
They
you
come
know,
with drama.
yeah, like I mean, my best friend, like,
The chat line's going crazy. The chat line's going crazy. They getting triggered. But there she go again. There she go again. Now
I'm
she's
not gonna
female
do it.
passion.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. But I'm saying that to say this, like, I don't know, maybe it's just like with being a part of this, I'll have women that's on my level. And what I mean by level is like, you know, they looking at the same thing like personal growth, financial growth. Like we're all on the same level. So maybe I can look at things a little bit better because this is something new to me. It's really new to me.
And
I'm open to it though. I'm going in with the open.
yeah, and I think that you're strong enough where you can confront differences. So if you do run into that personality that has hurt you in the past, but you're a stronger person now, you know, so you could understand them and you can choose to deal with them or not to deal with them. Like you probably see it, you know, it won't catch you off guard. Or maybe this conversation hopefully is a reminder not to let it catch you off guard. Because ultimately, like this, and this is what's coming to my thoughts as we speak, is like there are some women that like having male friends, there are some women that like having female friends, and there's a distinct difference between those women usually. Because the women that like having female friends are usually a little bit more talkative. They usually like to, you know, and I'll use gossip not in a negative, not in the negative sense, but they like to keep up with each other's stories, and the good, the bad, and the ugly. Whereas I think when it comes to males, and males be gossiping too, you know, like that. Let me not just gender it, but generally speaking, I would say, and I would say that it's not. At least let me. I don't even want to gender it too much because there are some males that are very, very gossipy. But I would say that maybe the talk is a little bit different.
Like some men, they're worse than women talking.
That's why I'm stuttering on it.
Yeah, like
but then that man usually isn't the one that's talking to the woman. Well, I guess they could be too. But you see where I'm going with it. Like generally speaking, girlfriends are keeping up with each other's lives and the lives of everybody that they know, and they got a running tab on everybody's life story. Whereas for guys, the conversations could probably be a little bit different. Like for instance, me and you, we talk about different stuff. We don't really focus on people like that. Like we may say a story here and there, but it's not like we're keeping up with like, so how so-and-so, or did you hear about so-and-so and so-and-so, 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 da-da-da. Like, I think that's like a thing that can happen a lot within female circles, where it's like they're keeping up with the storylines of a lot of people. Like literally, like it's like you got a list. All right, let's talk about so-and-so right now. Okay, now we're talking about so-and-so. You know, now we're talking about this. Did you hear this? You know, like, so, but those women are going to be in all circles. Like those women are interested in personal development too. And they're going to want to know your life story so they can talk to the next one about it too. You know, and then I think the challenge is when those people are talking about you, but maybe they're not talking about you as accurate as you would talk about yourself.
Right.
You know, and then I think for me, that's why I prefer not to be in people's mouths if they're not going to talk accurately about me.
And
Because
one thing that I really like that you and my educational mentor, y'all have in common is that, like you say, here, we don't talk about nobody else. We don't talk about nobody else here. Now, what his reflection is, and what I find out is similar, is that I don't like when people talk bad about other people.
right,
I don't like that. And
right,
I
right.
noticed that I connect to you two really good, but I thought about that the other day. It crossed my mind, and I'm like, I think that's why I didn't adapt it to them too, because within that area, y'all both have the same mindset and y'all don't tolerate it at all. And I really like that because I know that if I'm talking to you or I'm telling you something about myself, when I walk out of a room, I will not get talked about with you when you all are there. If anybody's going to say anything, it's going to be something good. But no, I will not, my name will never get dragged in the dirt.
Right.
It will never, you know what I'm saying? And it makes me feel like a sense of security, you know, when I hear that, like when I hear him say it and when I hear you say it, it's like, y'all all gonna respect everybody here. Ain't nobody gonna talk about nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But I feel safe. Like I feel a safe, I feel a safeness, and it's a good feeling for me because, you know, I've been across that path where people and they do that, but I like it because like you let it be known. It could be 50 people on here, and you're gonna let it be known against everybody. Like him, he'll say that to students, he'll say that to staff. Like he didn't already told me it pisses me off when people try to talk bad about other people.
That's a trigger for me as well. Now, one thing that I do believe in, I think that it's okay to talk about stories of people that
Right, like if
need.
you talking about stories or it's just like general conversation, but when you get the bad mouth with somebody
Right,
and
right.
talking down on
And
them,
then some people don't
that
know the
ain't
difference.
cool.
Some people don't know the difference, and then that's where like the speaker has to have some wisdom, because that's like what I've learned to do is like I like to teach through stories, and then sometimes there'll be a person who has a story, but then I gotta like the way that I think is if I tell this person this story, are they gonna think bad about who I'm talking about? And if I think that they might think bad about them, then I won't share the story. Because so for instance, let's talk about my oldest Raymond. Like, so I've learned a lot by being his parent. And yeah, they're negative situations, but I'm not upset about it. Now, was it challenging for me? Yes, but I would like to be able to talk about it so that people can learn from my learnings, but I don't want you to learn it and then think bad about him, you know, because I'm not telling you the story so you can think bad about him. I'm telling you the story so that you can see the lesson in it. So I think for me, I've had to learn that not everybody can hear stories about other people. Like, not because some people will take that story and then twist it, and then they'll pass the story down with a different vibe, like in a more gossipy way, like trying to like speak bad when that was never the intention. So I know that's one thing I've had to learn too is, okay, if I share this story, is that going to make the person I'm sharing the story with have negative feelings about who I'm talking about? And if the answer is yes, then I don't need to talk to them about that, because that means that they're not mature enough to like learn the lesson from it. But see that those are all challenging topics, you know, especially like I'll say for myself, like I like to think that that I'm a leader and that I could teach people the lessons I've learned. But then I have to be very conscious and cautious about how I go about doing that, because I don't want to get caught up in no gossip circle. And I don't, and by gossip, I again see it's challenging because I don't want to say that it's bad to gossip, you know, because gossip just means like excessive talking or like, you know, and some people are good at gossiping where it's not a bad thing. It's just a thing that people do. But a lot of times it can be used for bad or for hurting people's feelings. It can be used like in a negative way, and then it can be hurtful to people. So I recognize that. But generally speaking, that's why it's important that like we were talking about that here. Like it's important to know yourself. And if you know yourself, then you know you can better relate to the people that you meet and the people that you're engaging. So
That's true. Well, we can definitely finish this tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, I go to my virtual event, my first event. I'm excited about it. However, I know
take notes. Take notes.
I am, but it's like a
Or it's not a note take.
It's like a celebration thing too. So
okay. Okay,
yeah.
well, enjoy the moment.
I am, but I like it. I like the fact because it's going to start 6:30 my time, and it goes for 2 hours. So that'll give me a break in between time, and then
don't feel pressure to come on tomorrow, then, because that you might. Well, you probably be energized after that, actually.
Yeah, but you know what though? I get like a break in between time, so I figure I come home, chill out for a minute tomorrow, and do some reading. And then I get on, and then this weekend, what I'm gonna do is, well, Friday I got service, and I figured this weekend I can just stroll like with. I'm gonna work. I work on my math every day, but I feel like Saturday I'm gonna just dive really hard into it. It's like Saturday and Sunday. But yeah, tomorrow I will be on. I told Jaden I sent him his assignment for the quiz. Now tomorrow morning I'm going to email him his assignment. But I had already sent him the quiz. He said he will check. So and I put some notes on there and stuff like that. So he'll read it. And I'm quite sure
hold them accountable.
Okay, I will. So, and I know we're not meeting tomorrow, but I figured I come on tomorrow night too because I wanted to talk to Jaden for maybe like a couple minutes because I'm sending him his assignment tomorrow.
That's perfect. Cool.
In the morning. So I'm gonna be on here.
Cool. Well, alrighty, Miss Alexandra. It was nice chatting. Later.
Bye.
Bye.
Let's go ahead and finish this out with some D-Steezy. I love me some D-Steezy and some Prince 8, my two favorite artists of the moment. So how do I want to close it out? Look, and I like to play the same songs over and over and over again. That's right. Why not? Yeah. Right now. JJ. Yeah.
Right now, so be careful what you ask for. You fuck around, fall in love with an asshole. It ain't about the hustle, don't interrupt my cash flow. Money, power, respect, what more can I ask for? Yeah, cause right now I'm in gas flow. Racing to the money like I'm Usain Bolt. With a bunch of niggas with me like I'm Neil
right now, right now, right now, right now, right now. Yeah.
Hey, internet friends.
Right now. Tune out, tune out, tune out. The Black Hair Party presented the Real Talk Show. We talked a little bit about this, a little bit about that, and a lot about that. I am your host, Crown Jules, and my co-host, Alexandra Blockton. It was a pleasure. This was an All Ages Alliance production, and we'll catch you tomorrow on episode 10 something. I don't know, 102, 103, 104, one of those. Peace out. Peace be unto you and your family.